Hello everyone and welcome into our YouTube channel here at FantasyPros. I am Lauren Carpenter, and in this video we have 5 burning questions for week 10. Number 5. Did we overvalue Stefon Diggs in drafts over the summer? So for anyone who spent a first round or early second round pick on Stefon Diggs, it sure feels like we did. However, not all of this can be laid on Stefon Diggs' shoulders, although we kind of want to put it there. However, they have been seeing completely different types of defenses than they saw in 2020. They have zone defenses that they're playing against. They have 2 safeties deep that they have to deal with. That makes Josh Allen have to make short throws, gives up explosive plays, and then allows defenses to tackle. None of this is in Stefon Diggs' wheelhouse. In fact, Stefon Diggs has cleared 90 receiving yards just once through 8 games. He topped 100 yards in 7 of 16 contests last season. And the Bills' offense has been good this year, but it hasn't been as dominant as it was in 2020. 1 year after posting his alpha-esque 29.1% target share, Diggs sits at a 24.9% rate heading into week 10. Now that's good. And the Bills also throw more than any other team. So having a high target share in their offense is worth more than if he were to play on another team. I know that doesn't necessarily make us as fantasy managers feel a lot better, but he's still seeing the depth of target and he is still seeing the target share. So to answer the initial question, did we overvalue him? No, I don't think that we did. It's just that the Bills are seeing different types of defenses and they're going to need to learn to adjust. Now, Stefon Diggs is going to continue to be a locked-in wide receiver 1, but you may need to add in a little more upside players to your surrounding roster pieces to make up for any deficit that he may be giving your fantasy squad. Number 4. Is the Javonte Williams breakout going to happen this season? Now, we were all excited about Javonte Williams heading into this season, mostly because Melvin Gordon is, I don't want to say aged, but there you go, and he is on a 1-year contract. Plus, Javonte Williams is extremely talented. So all of us were very excited about his opportunity in this offense. However, Melvin Gordon is not going away. He ranks 15th in Pro Football Focus's rushing grade, and his 70-yard rushing touchdown from week 1 was the 9th fastest ball carrier speed in the league this year, and that is according to Next Gen Stats. Then we have Javonte Williams, who ranks 2nd in Pro Football Focus's elusive rating and 7th in Next Gen Stats success rate. He has been a tackle-breaking machine and a yards after contact machine. Fantasy managers rightly want Javonte Williams to take over, but there is a 50-50 timeshare here that does not look like it's going away. In fact, it even leads just slightly towards the veteran in Melvin Gordon. However, you should feel pretty good about this pick in Javonte Williams, especially if you play in a keeper league, because you probably picked him up late, which means you can keep him for a cheaper amount heading into the 2022 season. And Javonte Williams is a very solid flex option. So, as an insurance policy with Javonte Williams, I don't think it gets much better than this, because he is just 1 injury away from becoming a workhorse RB1. Number 3. Who is a player that you can buy low on heading into week 10? Now, the Broncos offense doesn't necessarily scream flashy and exciting, but we finally have Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Tim Patrick all healthy and on the field together. Now, Jerry Jeudy did miss a significant amount of time, 8 weeks, due to his foot injury, and now that he is back on, he is finally seeing what he should have seen this entire season. He has 25% of his routes this year getting targeted, and in comparison, Courtland Sutton has drawn a target on 19.8% of his routes, and Tim Patrick is checking in at 15%. Sutton had the valuation of a high-end wide receiver 2 for a stretch when Jeudy was sidelined, but it seems as if he'll take a back seat to the second-year receiver down the stretch. Now, Sutton's average depth of target is very high, which means he is the one that could see the explosive plays. However, Jerry Jeudy is the one that could see more of them. And don't forget, Tim Patrick really isn't going anywhere, but Jerry Jeudy is one of those players who is just ready and ripe to explode in this offense with the surrounding characters that they have around him, because defenses are now forced to deal with not only Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick, but also in the player that I previously mentioned in Javonte Williams as well as Melvin Gordon. So this gives them the opportunity to really add on to what they've already been trying to do now that Jerry Jeudy is healthy. Number 2, what about a sell high option? Now, this is a little tempting to want to hang on to because this player has emerged in the offense of a very murky backfield, but he is the RB1, and we like that in fantasy football because that to us signifies volume. However, running back Damien Harris is a perfect sell high candidate. And the reason why we really like his fantasy production has mostly relied on his touchdowns. He has scored 6 times in the last 5 games, but savvy fantasy managers understand that touchdowns are very difficult to predict week in and week out. Now, this is particularly true for fantasy gamers in PPR leagues because Harris hasn't drawn more than 2 targets in a single game since week 1. When he got 3 of them, by the way. And receptions aren't really a part of his game, and he needs touchdowns to continue to be a productive running back in fantasy football. And number 1, have we finally seen the best of Jalen Hurts? Now, the Eagles have become the most run-heavy team in weeks 6 through 9, at least when it comes to neutral passing offenses. This coincides with the downfall of Hurts' passing ability. For the season, he ranks 29th out of 31 qualifiers in completion percentage over expectation, and it seems as if Philadelphia has seen enough. In weeks 8 through 9, the Eagles running backs have racked up a whopping 6 rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, Hurts has thrown for 200 yards or less in 4 of his past 5 contests. Of course, he will be running the ball plenty himself, which helps to give him that QB1 upside, but the passing volume just simply isn't there. And with the Eagles activating someone like Jordan Howard off of the practice squad, in addition to having Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott, that says to me that they're going to be relying on the run moving forward and not necessarily on Jalen Hurts' arm. And there is also still the possibility that he may be benched later on in the season. But until that happens, you can at least rely on his rushing upside to give you some QB1 numbers this season. And that's all we have for 5 burning questions heading into week 10. Please make sure to like this video, and if you have not done so already, please subscribe to Fantasy Pros. We have content coming out every single day, all season long, to help you with all of your fantasy decisions, all of your starts and sits, as well as just some great content this season. Also, make sure to follow us on social media at Fantasy Pros on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.